Hello everybody. Afternoon today. I didn't get up very early, had all sorts of traumas through the night, but there we are. Such is life, isn't it? I was asked yesterday by a couple of ladies, or I've been asked several times which block was where and what number and which video. Fair enough, because when I started doing this I was a bit confused and I had no idea what I was doing. Things have sort of developed with titlings and organisings and that sort of thing. So Kathy suggested maybe I went back through everything and did a quick show and tell, for want of a better word, of which blocks were which, so as to which videos you can go back and look at if you're making and just joining us. Seems like a plan to me. So what I'm going to do, I've got my stack here and I've numbered them all for you. What I will do is take photos of all of them and do like a montage, and I'll put it onto the Facebook group, Patchwork Whisperings. If you're not already a member over there, please feel free to come and join us all, and you'll get all sorts of lovely photos. Do you know there's some fabulous stuff you're doing out there, girls? Your stashes, some of them are absolutely really I want to die for. No, but I love bright stuff. Not that everybody's isn't lovely, but I do love bright stuff. Right, anyway, so block one was because I had no idea at that point what I was doing or what was going to happen. So I said to everybody, make a block, a pieced block that you love. Okay, so that pattern was actually your choice. All right, so my one, I did a star. All right, so what I've done is I've put numbers on the corner of all of mine now, and as I say in a minute, I'll take photos and I'll put them all on to come along with this. So if you're now just joining us, go back and look at the previous videos. I believe if you go onto YouTube, you can go into the library on my channel and you can find them all. All right, block two, this one, I took from a bit of an inspiration from Pauline Burbage, who I've long admired, many years now. When I did my City and Guilds, God, 20 plus years ago now. She was the quilter that I had a little bit more in-depth knowledge about looking for, you know, and who did appreciate what she did and why she did it. Do you know what? She's worth having a nose at. Big industrial quilting, and she was one of the first to do all sorts of really interesting stuff that we take for granted now. Anyway, so what we did with that one was we laid up some fabrics, we made chops into all the 3 layers, and then we mixed them all up and joined them all back again, and we came out with 3 squares that I think were about 8.5 inches, and then we added a border. Okay, so you should have 2 of those lurking if you've not played with them to do something else, and we might look at doing something with them a little bit further on. All right, so block 3 was me messing about. Okay, so it was that one that looks like cogs or railroads or whatever, and basically we were making strips of 1-inch squares, yeah, and how to do that. And then how we did it was we tied the colour in one side and then out the other, and then in and out, so they all sort of interlinked. Okay, and that's where we were learning accuracy for all of it, obviously, but when we were piecing this, we've got strips, so we were going down and up and down and up. So when you're joining from opposite ends each time your strip, so as it stops your work twisting. All right, right, so block 4 was this weirdo one that I made up, where we put things together, or we put triangles together, didn't we, and chopped them up and twisted them and put them back together. I've since played with that big style, but you'll find out about that in a while, because my little mate hopefully is cutting us and making us a nice ruler to make that one simpler for everybody. But I've actually been and made something else with that, which I quite liked. Okay, so block number 5 was an applique block. Okay, so that was like a little garden, or any other applique that you fancy. Over to you. I know a lot of people say I'm not a designer. Do you know what? If you follow what I was saying on that one, you'll soon have some, because all it is a few strips of grass and a couple of flowers chucked on, followed by a few buttons and a bit of lace. So anybody's capable of that. Don't underestimate yourselves ever. I have lots of faith in you lot, and what I've seen already, fabulous. Right, okay, now then block 6 is what the hex, okay? So we were doing these hexagons with the surround using Andy from Crafty UK, his templates where things get twisted and chopped out. It makes life really, really easy. I do have several of those sets left. If anybody wants to purchase one, we've got a special offer on that over on abbyand.com in my shop. There's no postage. We're paying you postage on that one if you want to play with one of these. I think they're fabulous. I did just 3 on this particular one to make sure that they stood out for you. Okay, so that's that one. That was number 6. Number 7 was me lopsided log cabin. Okay, so that was just sort of a little bit of crazy stuff going on. Excuse me. We started in the centre, I think, 2-inch square, and then we did a normal log cabin, side, keeps going round and round and round in one direction, but I was altering the widths of the strips, okay, just for a bit of fun, to use up whatever scrap I had in here in strip wise. All right, so that was number 7. Okay, right, number 8 was a bit of my strange one. Here we go. That was a strippy one. Now, how we did that one, we were making strips that were 12.5 inches, duh, made from scraps, and I was cutting 1.5 inches wide so that these all come out as 1 inch across. But what we were doing is whatever you finished one row on, you started the next row with. Okay, so pale blue there, flowery one there came back to here, bright greeny there is here, and all the way down, or a variation on it. There's been some lovely ones of this, and I've actually got in mind now a whole quilt to do, but that'll be giving it away. That's led me on to think other things to do with that one. Right, number 9 was an house block or a bungalow block or whatever you want to call it. Okay, so I did put the pattern for that, a photo of that on the Witterings, on Patchwork Wittering group. Okay, and I'll put it again when I put all of these photos of these on. All right, so what I did was I made up my basic block slightly different to the pattern, because I did one big area here for the windows, and then I appliqued the windows for a bit of fun, and I put a few grasses in mine, so that it actually reflected the garden that I did the other week. So the two should go next to each other quite nicely. Although they're different fabrics in general, the two blocks will sit next to each other and it will look like bungalow garden. So I quite like that idea. All right, so that was number 9. Number 10 was good fun. This was where we decided actually we might, because this seems to be going on for a long time, and if I'm doing a block every couple of days, we're going to have an awful lot of blocks. Now, I'm not expecting everybody to make all of these, but keep going as many as you want and play as much as you want, because actually you could have 1 quilt, 2 quilt, 3 quilts, lots of blocks, loads of cushions, runners. You could turn it into all sorts of things. But my thought was at this point, we probably need to add a few more fabrics into the scrap and stash pile or the purchase pile. You might have been online and had a few little goodies coming in. So what I did here was literally 2-inch squares finished. All right, so but all cut individually. None of this strip it, cut it, put it back together. That's far too simple. Everyone is done individually. Okay, so that could be done by machine or by hand, whatever you want, as could all of these really. And then I've just, for the hell of it, appliqued a circle on there because I found some circles in my scrap. So I gave you a quick rundown on how to maybe applique that. All right, so that was in number 10's video. All right, and then yesterday was block number 11. All right, which was a variation on courthouse steps. Mine seems to have had a little bit of a bowing in the centre, but never mind, a bit of creative ironing might put that right, I reckon. And in the scheme of it, by the time it's all put together, it's never going to notice. But what we did here was we started in the centre as normal, and then we put top and bottom strips, and then we did side and side. But what we did for a change here was the sides I did at 1/2 inches instead of 1 inch. So I joined 2 1/2-inch strips together and then put them around the block, and then I did 2s and 1s, and then repeated it all the way out. So what we do with courthouse steps, it's similar to log cabin but not the same. We join them top and bottom, side and side, top and bottom, side and side, all the way until you get the size that you want. And how I've done that one is I've sort of kept all my greens in the centres opposite each other, and then the blues each side. So hopefully that's sort of given it a bit of definition. So we've got the 2 tie colours in there as well, and a few of the new ones that I've added in for use further along. All right, so that was block number 11. Okay, and that's as far as we've got. Tomorrow we have block number 12. Yeah, that's going to be an interesting one, we'll see. I have several things going around in the brain cell now, as you do, or as I do, I should say. So bear with me, we could have a fun one tomorrow when I've made my mind up what we're doing. That was the pattern, by the way, for the courthouse steps variation. All right, I do love changing things about. I think there's an awful lot of us out there that are very comfortable in what we do, and we see things and we carry on. I don't think there's anything wrong in pushing ourselves a little bit into something a little bit different. None of these are majorly difficult. If you're a beginner, you ought to be able to do those. If you're struggling, do message into Patchwork Witterings on Facebook, because one of the girls there or the gents there will answer you, if not me. It depends how often I look at my phone through the day, to be totally honest. And being as I've got a cupboard mess going on here, it's actually a little bit better than it was yesterday, but it's nowhere near done. It's going to take me a little while, I think, but I can at least see behind you now, which I couldn't do yesterday. It was really quite frightening. I was pinned into the corner yesterday by rolls of wadding and stuff, lots of stuff. But it is gradually settling here. I have no idea where I'm going to put my rolls of wadding now. They are, I'm trying to figure out, can I sling them from the roof or something? Oh, there's me 15-minute piglet. Yeah, but it'll all come together, and it's all going to be a lovely cupboard for teaching in the future. Or more teaching, I should say, because I've been teaching in here for 4 years now, which has all been really lovely, and I've had loads of nice people. Do you know what? If you're in Cornwall on holiday in the future, and you happen to bring your sewing machine with you, you can always come in and spend a day playing with me. We do that, you know. People come in and visit and have a little session in the cupboard and a bit of fun and a cup of coffee. Or maybe if you're just nearby, have a cup of coffee. That's good. We like that. So yeah, it's all going to be brilliant. So run through me normal things of the day. Sunshine in Cornwall. Started off a bit chilly and a bit overcast, but it's now not too bad. And I've got the door wide open because it's almost like fumigating in here, the way I've moved everything around, which is really quite good. So yeah, so that's lovely. Have you spoken to your friends? I got loads and loads of lovely messages and things yesterday, because actually it was my birthday. Bit of a strange one, to say the least, but a happy one nonetheless, and lots of lovely thoughts from everybody. So thank you for that, all of you out there. Lovely. And have you spoken to your friends is what I was going to say, wasn't it? And made sure everybody's okay and wish them well. Done any shopping and things that you need to do for people. That's always good. Right, so then we have the 2 other important things of exercise tidying type stuff. Yeah, get up away from your machine, do a bit. Don't forget, if you're going away from your machine for any length of time, turn him off, write down what your stitch number is and what you're doing. Turn him off so you don't burn your bulbs and things out. All right, there's no need to leave them on and trundle in for no reason. Okay, so that's always a good thing to think about. But your exercise bit, yeah, do get up from your machine if you're there right into something and going for it. We tend to forget, and before you know it, we've got jaws clenched. Oh, I like it. and tongues hanging out. Do you know what? Ladies in Ireland all know this one, and they don't love me for it because I went around taking photos of them all. I love it in class when you're all busy and absorbed. All the little tongues start poking out. And I'll get to have a little grin, and I wander around, and if I've got my camera in, I'll take photos of people. I'm quite shameless, and then I'll put them out all over the place for people to see. But how fun is that when we're so absorbed, we have no idea, and the little tongue starts picking it. I think it's really funny. So yeah, you need to get up, walk away, relax a bit, and then come and have another go. Especially if you're having a fight with a quilt or something, it's not doing quite what you want it to do. Take a break. New Bibles, come back to it. Maybe a new needle. How often do you change your needle? I bet you don't change them anywhere near as often as you should. I know I'm guilty of it. And I always say within my class instructions and requirements list, machine in good working order with a new needle. I really ought to take some notice of that myself. Yeah, so needles. Oh, and that brings me to another. If disposing of your needles, they're a little bit dangerous and dodgy, aren't they? Do you know what I do? Where is it? Oh, I'm going to cry. Oh, there he is. Oh, so she in amongst everything. Look, that's an old sweetener pot, yeah? And when it's empty, if you turn it upside down and sort of do it as if you can put your needles and your pins in the bottom of that, and then you can dispose of them safely, and no one's ever going to do themselves any mischief. Excellent little idea that was. One of my mates showed me that years ago, so I've been doing it ever since. Brilliant. Right, okay, I think I've witted enough. I'll put you loads of photos up in a bit, all right, and then tomorrow we'll play another one. I know that leaves us one block out on double snuggle, but that's okay. We'll catch up the next day. We've got loads of stuff going on. All right, have a fabulous day. Be lovely. All right, bye.